kind of a nuts time of the week for me. I know, major first world problems and everything, but oh my gosh, PAX East week is nuts. Yeah. It's almost like I have to do 5 days worth of work in 4 days, plus add about 20 hours to it of PAX stuff. Ah! I didn't even know what time it was. I was just sitting there at my computer working on a thing, and then the person I was talking to was like, "Aren't you supposed to be live streaming right now?" Oops. Sorry, folks. I'll be getting going here in just a minute, though. Curious why server being up wasn't put on forums. It was. I put it up on the forums at around 10:40 a.m., updated the service news thread. Sorry if you didn't see it, though. I did do one thing. Oh, I know. I did do one thing different, though. And it was... I will fix that for next time. So what happened is I updated the thread, but I didn't create a new post as well. Reason for that is I was sitting in a parking lot trying to do it on my mobile phone and having Wi-Fi problems. It happens. What can I say? Yeah. Whew. Most likely does not know what day it is, let alone what time. Correct. No, I know what day it is. It's Wednesday. I know what time it is. Let's just call it noon. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream here on twitch.tv/DDO stream, youtube.com/Dungeons & Dragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. I am DDO's Community Manager Cordovan, and we have got a heck of a week. Going on this week. We just did a patch. Since last we spoke, all sorts of stuff's been going on. So we'll be answering your questions. We can talk a little bit about the latest news. Most of that stuff's out. Happy 14th anniversary, DDO, on Friday. Also, PAX East party on Friday. Don't need a PAX badge to attend. It's actually not that near PAX East, but about 20-25 minutes away in the Adventure Pub. We are full. We have full RSVPs. Now, there's always a few people who think that they can go that don't show up. So if you're hearing my voice right now and you're like, I'm like 5 minutes away and I really want to go, it's probably okay. But please PM me. Otherwise, we got a full group. We're going to have at least 60. About 60 people at the Adventure Pub, which is a gamer-themed gastropub, and 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern on Friday in Arlington, Massachusetts. And yeah, I could talk about the anniversary present. Hello, Tom and Johnny over on YouTube. Yeah, I'm actually patching up the game client right now as well, although that is done, so let me log into the game world. I was trying to decide what world to be on today. I think I'm going to Kyber, and the reason for that is twofold. One, I want to check to make sure to see if I got the no worries on Kyber on my epic character, and if not, maybe get that. But the main reason is I'm running on hardcore. I've lost one character so far, and I can talk about that if you want. Someone helpfully put the death message of poor little Mock Duck on the Twitters on Friday saying, "Hey, Cordovan, I saw you." Dead. But that was cool. But my new character, I'm running with a static group. And so I'm not quite sure how I want to handle it, and I wasn't prepared this week to get going on hardcore. Because if I run for an hour on hardcore every Wednesday, or some of the Wednesdays here in the next 3 months, I'm going to be outpacing the group I'm in and completing quests that I'm going to then be completing with the rest of the group, and why put myself at risk twice if I don't need to, etc. So I think I'm either going to temporarily be away from hardcore for a little bit, or I'm going to be on hardcore, but I'm going to be on a specific character for the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream. All right, let me get to some questions here. You saw Mock Duck's death notice as well. Yeah. Let's just say I got a lot of tills in game. Lols. Lol was probably the number one till I got. LOL. It's true. And then a lot of, oh, bummer, sorry, mans. So. I have a question. Will long shortbow users get a revamp next update? As Dev said, it will happen, but not when it will happen. Long shortbow users. I think that the reason the team was hesitant to give you an exact time frame like that is I don't think that that work is set enough that we would want to announce it at this point. Other than we want to do the work. So, my second character is still alive, and just hit 7. Well, actually, he's a little into 7, but hit 7 yesterday, and then I continued running a little bit. So, my second character is doing pretty good. Unfortunately, last night's hardcore with the static group ended with 2 of the fellow guildies getting trounced by pretty much the same arcane skelly that took Mock Duck out. So, let me warn hardcore participants, those arcane skellies are no joke. And if you don't have good MRR to handle those like scorching rays and stuff, they will wipe you out. So there you go. So it's a no on the next update. It's an I don't know. Sorry, Woody. You know, we can't make things happen by verbally committing to them. We'll see what we can do. No, DDO account. As a matter of fact, it's a little strange. It makes me feel like a celebrity, but it also is a little odd. I have seen some people on hardcore making names based on my character names, either to be slightly trolly or just for fun. I've seen a strange number of kind of Cordovan named names on the hardcore. It's weird. It's weird. I feel like I say, I feel like a celebrity, but it's a little strange. So, oh, what did I get for daily dice? I rolled a 33 and got 200 XP and 1,000 plat on the silver. Got a 27 on gold, 2,000 XP, and 154 mysterious remnants. Which, hey, I'll take that. Kobold Shaman and Arcane Skeleton seem to be the bane of most players. Yeah, there's someone on the DDO forums who has been doing their best to catalog death notices. I think they're just sort of keeping in game and Excel spreadsheeting the death notices, which is amazing. And indeed, Arcane Skellies are clearly in the top 5 right now in terms of what's causing people to die. So be warned. And maybe I should not go into this without a healer. Oh, you can't see the game? I haven't switched yet. Okay. Good deal. Thank you. That Medusa Queen is the other one. And the saddest part about that, the absolute saddest part about that is you don't even need to fight that person. You don't even need to go there. You don't need to be in that section of the dungeon at all. Don't do it, folks. That poor Medusa is getting lots of XP and slayers.
The kobold points inside. Find evil overlord! Stop kobolds and peoples from fighting!
I saw, at least, I don't know if that's the same level 30, but I saw my first level 30 death message on, I guess it was Sunday evening? Sunday night? And I was like, oh my gosh. Also, oh my gosh, how did you get to 30 that quick? But, amazing. And sad. I'm so sorry. Can you imagine getting to 30 and then dying? Yeah, let me put that up. Level 30 Armag on Kyber. Do I play online here with me as a possible DM? Not per se as a DM, although I did actually get the chance to do voiceover work for one dungeon. But I think over on YouTube, this is for Dungeons & Dragons Online, the online video game. We also do tabletop and stuff as well on Sundays over on the Twitch channel. But for the most part, it's all DDO. Nope. Keith, close. It may be the Medusa Queen is in the top 3, but it is not number 1. Number 1 is individual death notices. You know, Mokduk was killed by Mokduk. Armag was killed by Armag. And the reason for that typically is traps. Trap notices will, or basically some other form of death that is not able to be determined. But the most common one of that is he died in a trap. So that's how that goes. So Howard, I'm sorry you're having an installation issue with today's patch. You might want to try the repair game client option. Might be something to consider there. Before I get too far ahead of myself, let me mention the boost. Alright, a couple of things to mention actually. First, this is the final weekend for our anniversary sale. That includes the Tensor's Weapon Box, plus 20 Hearts of Wood, where you also get that plus 5 heart along with your purchase. And then plus 8 tomes at 35% off. And then after Sunday, it's going to go on permanent release in the DDO store, but at full price. The other thing I'd mention is this weekend's bonus that kicks off tomorrow, runs through Sunday, is 10% extra VIP XP. Remember, that's all worlds except for the hardcore world. We do not do bonus days on the hardcore server.
An impressive Warforged turns to face you.
What's in the box? I would need to... I don't think I'm prepared. What is in the Tensors? I know it's a plus 8 Supreme Tome and a true racial Heart of Wood. Heart of Blood. There's some other things. Okay. 10 units of 5,000 Sentient XP. 20 Sentience Toolkits, 2 Glamored Weapon Auras, 5 Mirrors of Glamoring, 2 Lasting Oils of Strengthening, and, yeah, and the other stuff. Actually, that isn't right. Sorry, I looked at the wiki page on that, but that's not... I don't think that's actually correct. Actually, my whole information's wrong. I don't know what's in the Tensors box. I thought I knew. I'm going to assume it's what is listed. 10 units of 5,000 Sentient XP, 20 Sentience Toolkits, 2 Glamored Weapon Auras, 5 Mirrors of Glamoring, 2 Lasting Holes of Strengthening, all items bound to account. So, sorry about that. We're getting that wrong. Alright, let me get myself slightly ready to attack here. And to go for it! I hope anyone in town for PAX East, hope you're having a good time. Hope the kind of coronavirus stuff doesn't end up making for a bad time this year. I've heard some of the game studios and parties and that have been kind of canceled and things because of virus fears. So, you know. There we
Still
go.
a few problems with this
All
bolt.
right.
I know. Next time I'll try a different rune arm, or maybe a crossbow.
Let me take a quick look at... Oh, crap, I forgot to do that too. I am so scattered right now. I've got a lot of things to do. It's kind of... My multitasking capabilities being put to the test. Sorry for not linking to the release notes in the forums yet. All right, so we got the news and notes. Update 45.2 got released today. We did some work on attack speed with Cleave, Great Cleave, Supreme Cleave, Whirlwind Attack, Knight of the Chalice, Smite Evil, Exalted Smite, Vile Chemist, Poison Shot, uses entire attack speed when calculating. Small delay between equipping a weapon, receiving the effects of two-handed fighting, and some favored weapon bonuses to alleviate performance issues regarding switching weapons. Hit detection changed for basically all the two-weapon fighting or two-handed fighting stuff for update 45. We received feedback that at least some of you felt it was maybe a little too close quarter. The hitbox wasn't where it needed to be, so we took a look at that and have made some adjustments. May not be historically, it may be historically kind of less accurate in terms of sword fighting because the animation was based on actual two-handed fighting, sword fighting animation. Body movement, but it gives you a wider hitbox, and that's what folks were looking for. So we went with that. Also impacts non-mobile wild-shaped bear attack animations and quarterstaff attack animations for the first and second of those animations. Did a little bit of feat work on Alchemist and a little bit of Alchemist polish.
Can't quite make it out, but you think it was something like not.
Also, K-Pen Drop Axe is back. I know some people had spoken on the forums about, hey, what happened to K-Pen? And I was able to bring it to the team, and the team was able to bring that back. I think the main issue with K-Pen is we haven't used it since 2011. Technically, I think it was February 2012 was the last time it got released. And what it was is basically a voucher for when we were on the show floor of PAX East doing purchase requests for Menace of the Underdark. And if you attended the booth, you could get a pass, a little code, that would get you a handful of kind of little items and stuff. A bonus reward ticket is the formal name of it. And what you do is you turn it into K-Pen Drop Axe outside the Leaky Dinghy, and then get your stuff. But here's the thing about that, though. The number of people who are still actively, collecting that ticket all the time, just kind of naturally goes down over time. Has been 8 years. And meanwhile, you've got 8 years of people going, what does this person even do, and why can't I get anything? So I think that's why it got removed, is basically someone maybe with a little less knowledge of what it was actually doing there, perhaps removed it based on player request. And then the other player request came in, which is, hey, no, don't remove that. And so then it got put back. So that's the story on K-Pen Drop Axe. I can hear you. Wait, what was that? Oh, wait a second. We need to use it more? Okay. Maybe we do. Any news on the anniversary gift? Yeah. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the code out today or tomorrow. And the reason for that is we have one kind of last bit of work to do, and we can't do that work. That's actually the responsibility of one of our partners. So we're kind of waiting for that little bit of last work to get done. And assuming that gets done today, it'll get released today. If it's done tomorrow, it'll get released tomorrow. Well, what it'll be is the form of a coupon code. We'll get it, all over the launcher forum, social media. I have a feeling you won't be able to not see the coupon code when we release it. And what it'll do is it'll get you a free Sentient Dragon Gem period.
Not all that glitters is gold.
A Sentient Dragon Gem is this year's 14th anniversary reward. And you'll get that with a coupon code. You will be able to redeem it on hardcore. We can't stop you from redeeming it, basically. So if you're feeling real confident and want to... you could redeem it. I might not. I mean, it is a one per account thing. This isn't, you know, we're giving you a million of them. We're giving you one. One on your account. One per account redemption of the Sentient Dragon. But that's, you know, free to everybody, and it's in celebration of our 14th anniversary, so that should be cool. That's been a kind of a long-standing player request to do a Sentient Dragon Gem, and it seemed like a fun, appropriate gift that kind of checked all the boxes this year. Little bit of power, but mostly cosmetic, but also some power, but not like exclusive power, because it's no more powerful than any other Sentient Gem, right? Etc., etc. So it seemed like kind of the perfect cross mix between something you can use and something you can look at and something that will be fun.
The creature emits a guttural groan.
And of course, if you're already leveling up your Sentient Gem in that, you can get one of those removal kits, pop it out, and merge it. And what will happen is all that XP will go into your new Sentient Gem. Look up filigrees. Yeah, you would still be able to transfer it off the hardcore at the end of the event, but let's just say you redeemed it today, died this afternoon, you're not going to get that one for a while, you know? Yeah. Fonzie, I actually have not heard the Sentient Dragon Gem yet, I am sorry to say. So I don't know who the voice actor is. Is the Traveler's Trunk ever coming back? I saw they did a typo correction in an update, but it has not been around for some time. Yes. The Traveler's Terrific Trunk, I have to assume, will be back. We have no plans to not bring it back, so... I think it's just kind of an e-commerce consideration about the when and all that sort of thing.
No one is allowed back there until we get the situation under control. The harbor master nods at the door.
You know, that's cool too. Use happy time. You don't have to listen to the Sentient Gem voice. You can just toggle it off if you find the voice, you know, not to your liking or whatever. And it still offers a practical benefit. It's just a free Sentient Gem. So, there you go. I say this is a pretty busy time of the year for me. I haven't heard the Sentient Gem. I have been head down doing a lot of work, and then also doing a lot of PAX stuff and kind of prep work, work on both the DDO and Lotro side, and just a lot going on. So my ability to kind of have, hey, let me take advantage of my position and see the cool stuff, has been limited. The binding state on the Sentient Dragon Gem should be whatever every other Sentient Gem is. I can't off the top of my head remember if that's a counter character. Character, right? The Sentient Gem code will be released in time for the anniversary. Let me commit to that. Remember that our formal anniversary date is Friday, February 28th. That's when DDO officially launched at retail. Technically, there was a couple days beforehand where players who had pre-purchased the game or were in beta and things were able to roll in. You know, similar to a lot of MMOs at that time, it was a bit of a rolling start rather than a formal kind of, now you go to Best Buy and there you go, you know. But Friday, or February 28th was formally the day that you could go to Best Buy in their ilk and pick up a boxed copy of DDO. So that's the one we use for our formal anniversary. What does the gem do? It is a sentient gem. So it will work with the sentient item system, both minor artifacts and sentient weapons. And it's what you use to essentially slot filigree into those weapons. Thanks for the reminder, Druids. I will actually show you the swag. Mauricio, HC, thanks for your comment on YouTube. It sucks that I have to be the bearer of bad news, but I really don't see us being in a position where we can offer a Brazilian or Brazilian Portuguese version of the game client. It's just not at all on our agenda. Further localization is theoretically possible, but certainly not anything we have any plans for. Let me do something quick. Low. This is the new swag. We were able to get it for the party here. Attendees will be able to get one of these. We tried to find something kind of cool that we liked, like we could brand fairly easily and inexpensively, but that would also be on brand and appropriate for, Dungeons and Dragons. So we came up with this. It's a little kind of writing notepad thing, spiral with the DDO logo on it, little ruler and stuff for tabletop use. In addition, it's got a whole bunch of little post-it notes and that for all your books and what have yous. And then little sheets of paper to pass notes to your GM and all that kind of thing with. So, pretty sweet if you ask me. In terms of swag this year, I think this is a good one. And I really want to thank... trying to think if you guys even know her forum name. I don't think she really uses the forum. Maid of Lions partner did most of the legwork on bringing that to fruition. So I really want to thank Sarah for that.
Of the darkened theater.
It's true.
They cry.
It is not metric.
A pair of kobolds peer down an open trapdoor.
The other piece of swag that I can mention here in a sec when I'm not in danger of being killed by skeletons. Ah! Yeah, well, whose fault is that, Garrett? Yep. Actually, it was my sentiment. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Captain Kronk, that you think the PAX East party swag, quote, looks hideous. Guess you don't get one. Alright. I think people are going to dig it, especially when you see them in person. I think people are going to dig it. It's a little bit of swag, but we want to do something that was, you know, kind of had a little bit of actual practical use. That was, you know, priced within the realm of us being able to do it. The other piece, real quick, we also have for the party some mouse pads with the SSG logo. Cool as that, huh? And then we've got some Lotro swag as well. God, I hope we have some Lotro swag. We ordered some Lotro swag. We'll have to see what happens.
Jeets thinks that becoming a Dark Overlord will win over Melicia's heart. You'll need to enlist her help if you want to save the addled half.
So those mouse pads will also be available. And then assuming the Lotro stuff actually arrives within the next 2 days, we'll have that as well.
Unexpected figure among the party guests. Your old nemesis.
Oh, all right.
Sighs Melicia.
I'll help you with your pathetic...
I know, oh
friend.
dear. Trust
Now
me.
to return to Jeets and delve inside his mind.
Actually, it's not that big a deal, though. I mean, it's a big deal, obviously, if you wanted the Lotro swag and want to go to PAX East to get it. But if it doesn't show up in time, we'll scramble, figure out something, you know, dig the archives into our old swag. Offer that, and then use this swag when it does eventually come in for, like, say, Gen Con
Melicia
or other
uses
purposes.
her arcane powers to open a pathway leading into the mind of Jeets.
So Woodrow Wimpy, I'm going to be too busy on the anniversary date itself to do an anniversary live stream because it's right in the Friday of PAX East. We got visitors and press and interviews and the party to get ready for. So
Your friend has issues. Very
I can't do a
serious
Friday
issues.
live stream like I usually do.
The Jeets you know
Maybe I can
vanishes.
do a belated one, or maybe I can go guerrilla over the weekend, depending on how my weekend ends up going, etc. But yeah, I do enjoy the kind of yearly romps, getting to have some fun on an admin with players of the live worlds, you know, spawning a few easy mobs, things like that. So, will we be live streaming from PAX East? Yes and no. We are going to be bringing a computer with us to the Adventure Pub, setting it up for live stream. It's going to be used by any of the streamers in attendance, of which there are quite a few, who want to check in with their communities and audiences, or quick pop on to DDO stream and say hi. Maybe we'll even do a quick sit down or something like that. It kind of depends how the night goes. I don't want to commit ourselves too much. But yeah, I would expect to see a little bit of kind of live, hey, we're at the party stuff on Friday. But that's not going to permit the kind of time it would take to go to all the live worlds and do a live stream like that. I'll be too busy talking with people on that for that 3 hours. Round 2. Oh, I got some Facebook comments. I actually did not see it. Sorry, Dante. I don't know what your actual initial comment was about. It looks like you have a customer service complaint. That typically is not something I can very easily address through a live stream chat. I would recommend that you get in touch with help.standingstonegames.com. You could submit a ticket from there, and they will respond to you as quickly as possible. And I apologize if you are running
The
into
coin lords raise a glass
an
to
issue.
you as you enter the grand ballroom.
I've done my part. Get out there and finish the job, soldier.
So, Johnny H says, hey, you'd buy a DDO calendar. I have a feeling if we were in a position to offer, say, things like mugs, t-shirts, mouse pads, calendars, things like that, I do think there's interest, certainly, on the part of the DDO community in purchasing it. But we don't really have the ability to do that.
Turns to face you.
And the reason for that, we've said this several times in the past, but presumably haven't heard that. And that is that we do not have merchandising rights for Dungeons and Dragons Online. It is a separate rights license.
Watch where you point, soldier.
How about I not attack Steel Star with my flowers? That is a separate rights license, so we do not have the ability to actually grant that. My understanding is merchandising is something that can be done by other companies if they choose to, who have that kind of merchandising rights license. That is not us. What we can do is make promotional items for community events like PAX East, but we can't do anything that would involve, hey, give us money and get a thing. In regard to physical merchandise for DDO.
I know. Next time I'll try a different rune arm. Or maybe a crossbow.
Hey, Roger, over on Facebook. We will not be at PAX East proper. We don't actually have, like, say, booth space and that kind of thing. And, that's not to say keen-eyed people might not see tons of DDO peeps around PAX East.
Welcome, he cries cheerfully.
If you happen to know what some of the SSG people and devs look like, you'll see them there, because they're either attending or they're, helping out friends and other Boston area game devs or representing local game dev organizations or what have you. Like, I think Boston Fig might be there and a couple others. I also happen to know that we got a couple of people, or at least one person on the DDO team who's going to be working on the Adventurers League stuff that's taking place at PAX East. So we're there. We're just not there, if you know what I mean.
But you think
We don't have an actual booth
not
or meetup at the convention itself. That's going to be Friday, the Adventure Pub in PAX East. Fala Nashoba, I have a feeling that if we had the ability and time to do, like, 3D print your own DDO characters, and it was some kind of free thing or something like that, that would be awesome. I don't really see us doing that work,
brooding
though.
on a throne, surrounded by skulls.
No, it's not that ironic, Druid's Fire. There's lots of Boston area developers. So just because one's got a panel on Friday at the same time of our party shouldn't be read too much into. It would be cool. And plus I happen to know that probably most of the DDO team would be totally down for 3D printing their own characters. I just don't really see us as a kind of formal offering doing something like that. I have a feeling the DDO team might be some of the more frequent users of that technology were it to exist. Yep.
You see a perfectly ordinary door. Something about this area feels strange to you.
I did not preview the Dragon Sentient Jewel. I don't think I'm going to either. Might be a little too spoilery. Let people enjoy it by finding it and discovering it themselves, right? But we did confirm that, yep, it is a Dragon Sentient Jewel we've given out this week as our anniversary gift. Stay tuned within the next day or so for a coupon code. Or at least we'll get it out by February 28th, the day of our anniversary. Oh, do we have a 3D printer? Oh, we've got 3D printers. I would say the Venn diagram between people who make Dungeons and Dragons based video games and have an interest in 3D printing is pretty, so yes, we have probably access to a half dozen 3D printers from various people on the team. Hello, Gamer 2.
Harbor Master Zinn motions for you to stop. The kobolds have taken over the chapter house. No one is allowed back there until we get the situation under control. The Harbor Master nods at the door. The kobolds are back there. Maybe you can do something with them.
Yeah, John's asking a little bit about a couple of bugs discovered in the 64-bit beta client for DDO. I would underscore that it is a beta client currently, so things like occasional audio cutoffs. You're seeing a rendering issue on the guild airship. I have not seen that. Oh, unless you're talking about the airship color thing. That should now be fixed, but that actually wasn't a 64-bit client issue. But yeah. The 64-bit client is still in beta and will be worked on until it's done. Jewels are bound to account. Thank you. Great. Then this one will be too. Yeah, I think I mentioned that last week, but the deal on the airship colors was someone had done some work behind the scenes to try to fix a bug with airship colors, and had kind of in a development environment temporarily kind of done some work on it so that it could kind of be checked out and then checked back in. And when that work got done, there was a little flip in there, so the only people who could see airship colors were admins. So the day it came out, the day update 45 came out, and customer service started hearing from a few folks who lost their airship colors. They're like, I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and it's the color they say it is. And so it was a real kind of head scratcher there until we actually dug into the bug and realized that, oh, the reason we're seeing it and everyone else are reporting it's gone is because only we can see it if you were on an admin. And that's a fairly unusual bug to crop up in a live game environment. So I thought it was pretty amusing. And thankfully fixed pretty quickly.
Kobold shamans mock you from above.
You not like kobolds here? Now you know how kobolds feel when you go in their sewers. Kobolds never forget.
Oh yeah, Tom. Tom over on YouTube is asking, have we ever thought about doing more nostalgia-type characters, kind of like the Borderlands warrior cosmetic that we did? The answer to that is, oh, heck yeah. I have no idea, Shoemaker. That is way beyond my technical know-how. I don't really know how 3D printing works. My guess is it's not dissimilar to like the way animators and artists use Maya,
Rest up.
right? So you're going to kind of end up with like a flat texture that then gets wrapped around. Well, that's my assumption, but I don't actually know. So I think the process of turning a 3D sprite for the game into a 3D printable file would probably involve something along basically a wide texture issue that you would then figure out and then implement Maya style into that. It's witchcraft, that's right. I have not heard of plans to do any Alchemist hirelings, Craig. Cool idea, though. We did do a, for Troy kind of mentioning about some of the post-U45 bugs. Take a look at the patch we did today. There's actually a pretty significant number of animation and polish and bug fixing in that has cropped up since U45. We haven't tackled everything, but there's a fair amount of pretty big kind of bug fix stuff in today's patch. So take a look at that and see if it hopefully maybe addresses some of the ones that you have found more frustrating. Alright, so I think the way that you would take a file and make it a 3D printable file is you reverse the polarity of the dilithium crystals, then you expand the antimatter generator,
Down an open trapdoor.
You go down! You lost it!
Says one.
and then ultimately save it as a transparent PNG.
Down there!
House Jarasco is not the only place to get Alchemist spell components. How the HEW toothpicks am I getting that kind of damage? Ryan Spurlock asks. Well, thank you. I don't usually hear that too much on the live stream. I would say I'm using a sentient weapon. I don't think I actually even have any filigree slotted in it at the moment, because I don't really play on the server that much. I do have 51 strength, which, you know, is middling for a level 30 fighter. Decent con. And I'm largely using the hand-and-a-half weapons. So I am two-handed fighting with a sword and board, either using Kopesh's or Bastard Swords. I think Bastard Sword in this case, because that's the one I like the best. So I'm getting a lot of double strike, things like that. You know, I found ways to, just through enhancement trees and everything, just up that base weapon damage as much as I can, and improve my crit range as much as I can. So it's not been bad. You know, if I'm hitting this kind of damage with that kind of strength and that kind of weapon, plenty of room to go up from there, which is kind of nice.
Will win over Melicia's heart. You'll need to enlist her help if you want to save the addled halfling from himself.
Yeah, create a stable warp field in the process. Or no, oh, I like that. Fallid Nashoba, you would need a 3D studio that makes a file of the dimensions of the character. I like I say, I'm not at all techie, obviously, but I have to assume it's not entirely dissimilar to what our artists are doing for bringing these characters into life. So what you end up basically doing is, if you almost imagine zippering off your character and kind of laying it flat, and imagine how weird that looks. That's often the kind of core look at it before it gets sort of wrapped around and brought into the physics and all the other kind of rigging and animation and stuff that takes place. So I have to assume a static 3D printed image would actually be pretty similar to that.
The Dark Overlord fades away, and the GTO returns. Perhaps this experience has made him a wiser, more thoughtful halfling, though it doesn't seem likely.
That's true. You do got to worry about those Tesla coils and flux capacitors. Yep.
Enjoy the moment, but don't let this distract you from the mission.
All right. I do have a whole lot of stuff I got to do yet today, so I'm going to, even though I started a bit late, I'm going to wrap up the show on time. We'll get you a code in game later on today. I also want to thank everyone for being a part of the show here today. Really appreciate it. Hope you're having a good time in DDO. I'll be back next Wednesday with a whole lot more, and if I'm seeing you on Friday, I'm looking forward to it. Hope you have a great time at PAX East. Hope you have a great time at our player meetup on Friday at the Adventure Pub, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye, all.